Hey, top of the day to you.
Hello, everybody. That was a lot going on. Not only are we live on Facebook today, we're live. Oh, I'm live anyway on TikTok.
Hi, everyone.
There we go. So we're going to try to double up today, which is always fun and exciting as well. But
Exciting.
it is exciting. For those of you who have had many questions about what equine assisted learning is, how is this a business? Is it a viable business? Is there competition with it? There are 1,001 questions. What do you need? Do you have to set up everything beforehand? Like loads and loads of questions that can be asked about equine assisted learning. Well, today's your day.
It is, and that's just called being a smart entrepreneur.
That's right.
Because, when you are thinking of creating something that's your very own, and Steve Jobs, I know lots of you don't like Steve Jobs, but I really did like him a lot. And I love that he said, especially being an entrepreneur, your community, people don't know that it exists until you create it. That's why it's so cool that each of us individually and uniquely will bring in our own businesses to our communities or to the world, wherever your journey is. But it's so exciting to know, like when you create it and you begin it, that's when your community and the world knows that you have it. But until then, it's just a dream, just kind of sitting in your head. So we're going to hopefully help you and solve a lot of maybe the questions that you might have, because it's big. When you start your own business, you have to know specific things. So that's being a smart entrepreneur. Plus, we got a gift for you at the end as well.
Yeah, and I kind of look up all of the questions that we have because I wanted to make sure that we caught them all. But of course, I'm not prepared. Let's be honest, as to what it is here. So we'll go on with the
regular rigmarole.
Regular rigmarole,
as she always says.
It's a good way of saying it.
It is, isn't it?
Okay, and I'm going to close some stuff here because there's little pop-ups everywhere. Everything's crazy.
I don't like pop-ups. Put your hand up if you don't like pop-ups either.
Yeah.
I think I search for on Google, there's 10,000 bazillion ads for something.
Okay, so the first thing is that hashtag.
Holy jumping fish.
So if you hear something today that kind of blows your mind, or maybe you're like, oh, that's something different to think about or that you like, throw in that hashtag for us, because then we know what you liked and what you didn't. And we can always, bring in more of the same information or expand on it in future lives as well. We also want you to share, because sharing is in fact,
she says it is called caring.
Yes. Sharing is caring, everybody. So if there is somebody you know out there that has horses or works with horses now, or is maybe looking to expand their horse business, is looking to do something different with horses, share this video out because it will give them a load of information about what you can actually do with horses in a different way. Because I know even when you started, when you were looking for something, you didn't even know that this existed.
No, I totally didn't. I totally agree. And I actually think, that sharing piece, even for anyone who's beginning their own journey of becoming an entrepreneur, being self-employed, there's lots of great tips and tidbits that can even help one of them. Yeah, I think. Business is business across the globe.
That's right. And even for us beautiful life changers out there. And of course, everybody, it's not us that's life changers. I mean, we are too, but it's you. It's the people around you. It's the person you cross the street and you see and you give a little smile to. Everybody has the opportunity every single day that we live and breathe to change your life in a positive way. Mm-hmm. And that really does boil down to kindness. Keep it kind, people.
Kind.
And I actually reminded myself of that in the car yesterday because somebody last second had to cut in front of all of the traffic. And I thought, you don't know where they're going or why they're going there or why they have to act. Breathe in with the good air, out with the bad air. Don't cuss. I cussed a little.
Don't do the Italian fingering. What's it called?
I don't know, but I guarantee that's not it.
I thought there was like something in
there is. There's all sorts of different hand gestures.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay. I get things a little backwards and misunderstood. It's just who I am.
It's entertaining for the rest of us, and that's what really matters. So if you are catching this on replay, which all of you guys are live right now, but if you do come back and catch us on replay, make sure to give
the bird. That's what it's called, the bird.
Flipping
the
bird. Yes.
Oh, flipping the bird, not the bird.
Oh my gosh, that's too funny. I guess the bird works too.
Oh, it does?
It's shorthand. Sure.
Okay.
We'll go with that. If you catch us on replay, make sure you comment or shoot us a like or follow us on TikTok, whatever it may be. And we'll be happy to come back and say hello to you. And for those of you who are watching right now, let us know who you are, where you're from. I see we've got a hi on TikTok there, so that's nice to see. Facebook, falling behind. We have no highs from you yet. So throw
come
them
on
there.
in. Show us that we have people we're talking to. That's
Yes.
always way more fun. Lunch and Learns is what they are called
That's
because
right.
who came up with this? Was it Sarah?
Maybe.
Maybe, hey. Anyway,
I'd like to
we
say
had
I
a
remember
beautiful member of the family, the tribe, you know, everyone who follows us on Facebook. And she was just saying, I love the Lunch and Learns. It's just so exciting. And we're like, Lunch and Learns, that's a fantastic idea.
Look, Rebecca Powers on.
Hey, Rebecca.
From Australia.
Yay. She's
I love
working
that.
hard right now.
Jennifer Caldwell from South Carolina. Love to see
Yay.
it. Yeah. So who you are, where you're from. We always love to know who it is that we're talking to because, well, it helps us talk to you.
It really does.
Yeah.
Oh, Tiana, we have not. Yeah, this is so exciting. We go way back. Don't we, girl?
Way back.
Way back. I still remember when we were in the field and she had called about the certification course
Oh,
and
that's
we were
right.
driving the side by side and yipping to you at the same time. It's like, oh, who else can do this being self-employed? You get to drive
Yeah.
around on a side by side and talk to people.
Yeah. She probably sounded like we were having some issues as we go through the bumps.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my goodness.
So who we are, just before we go into all this information about equine assisted learning, my name is Carolyn Charles. I'm the Director of Sales and Marketing, as well as an instructor and facilitator for the Equine Connection, the Academy of Equine Assisted Learning, Inc.
Hi, everyone. My name is Carrie Fulmack, the founder of the Equine Connection, a master instructor helping people globally around the world do what it is what we do. And that is being an entrepreneur, being self-employed. But the best part of this job, if you would even call it a job, is you get to be with horses every day. Your horses actually make you money. And that is so exciting. And I do have to tell you, they do make money. And we have all heard, all of us horse people, oh, they're just hay burners. All they do is cost people money. When we were building our house here, my hubby is a contractor. So of course the guys would come in and they'd say, oh my gosh, what an expense you guys must have to have. Look at those 10 horses out there. And Sid would say, well, just so you know, all of those 10 horses actually make us money. And I thought that was kind of neat to have such a turnaround because he didn't begin that way, just so you know. But the best part of this is it's objectively driven programs that are designed with the idea, well, not the idea, but she took the idea of all the research that's already been done on how do humans actually learn. And then the research on how do wild horses communicate. And then our beautiful designer and who created all of this, Tamra, she actually married the two and she designed from her crazy, beautiful brain these objectively driven programs that always give you a predictable outcome, that always give a result. So every time our clients come in, there is always a result to be achieved and they do it naturally. Why? Because the horse, we literally allow the horse to speak in the programs, and we as the facilitators are stepping in to help the humans to be able to be empowered by their choices, by their decisions. Why? Because the teacher said so, not because we did. So it really is exhilarating. It's a job, a career that you cannot sleep too often on because it's so exciting. Like every day, 15 years we've been doing this, and not one human who has ever entered these doors hasn't had some kind of a change. And it really is because the horse is literally allowed to be the teacher. And that is our biggest component to our certification is the welfare of the horse is actually the foundation. We don't do anything in using horses because if you do that, then it's all false. It's fake. It's not even, to me, helping that human to be able to move forward because you're just putting humanness into what it is that we're doing. So we definitely prefer the welfare.
Absolutely. And we got Jennifer on TikTok joining us from Ocala, Florida, which isn't because that's a Doug's horse's name.
That's what it is. Okay.
Yeah. And he's from Florida as well, near that area. Actually goes to Ocala all the time. Doug at Dark Horse Stables. If you ever have a chance to look into him, he's a cool guy. And then we've got Adrian from Tyler, Texas on. We got Melanie from Saskatchewan. So beautiful. We got all sorts of places. Australia.
Whoop, whoop.
We're international, baby.
Yeah, baby.
I love it.
So here's the one thing I wanted to bring up, because it's all about all these questions that you have. Now, sometimes being an entrepreneur, what your brain goes to thinking is you need everything big and now before you begin. That is a false thought.
Yeah.
So you really have to get your brain focused on understanding that that is not what actually creates the business. It's understanding what kind of a business you're actually going to have. It's not all of the tools and things that are required. Don't get me wrong, you do need your supplies and things like that. But I'm going to give you an example. When I first got into this, I thought, okay, I got to get certified first. So I first actually understand what it is I need to do and what it is I actually have. So that was the first thing I knew. And it actually cost me $12,000 to actually begin my journey. But see, I didn't care about it costing $12,000 because why? To me, I'm like, business brain, woo, business write-off, business expense. Now I like that. Now I know there's always that, yeah, but you got to have the money to obviously have it for your write-offs and to make the money, but that's how it begins. So I definitely used that $12,000 as a write-off as I began my own business with this business. And then the second thing was, right from the get-go, you know, your brain started thinking you need an indoor arena because of weather, or you need a tractor, you need this, you need that, blah, blah, blah. No.
Calm down.
Take it down a notch. You just need to understand what it is you're going to be bringing in this business.
Absolutely.
The path can open up for you as you move in the business. So for example, I had a piece of, well, we were on 3 acres of land, and what I did when I first began, because we got a client immediately.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen all the time when you start a business, right? For those of you who've been self-employed, you know this. So I get a call as soon as I got certified. Hey, we just heard you got certified. We are opening a new treatment center and we want to hire you. So I'm like, what? This is so exciting. Not even ready. So I didn't have an indoor arena. I wasn't even set up to roll in anything, but I knew of a person that I've been meeting at network clubs, because I have to tell you, being an entrepreneur and bringing your dream to fruition, you really want to start being a part of some of these networking, those breakfast clubs, those lunch clubs.
Yes, making some connections, learning new things.
And
lunch and learns.
Yeah, lunch and learns. And I met a lovely lady who was a Gallus certified. And so we started talking, and I rented a piece of land from her, a piece of land, not an arena. And I rented her horses. And so every week, the kids from Siksika Youth Medicine Lodge would come down, and then that's where we would hold the program. So for 2 years, we worked outside in the elements of the good old Alberta weather. Now, the freezing days, I have to tell you, I'm a chicken liver of the sea. So, of course, those days I chose to market and do other things.
And then, people would be okay with that too, because it's just what it is. However, we have facilitators who run all year long, like outside in the dang cold. And they have all, she is a brave soul, but they come.
They do.
They come because they are there for the rusticy feeling, the outdoorsy piece of it all, and it's all there for them. So it can always be accomplished. It's no problem. Even on the heat side of things, if you know it's going to be hot, then you book for things in the morning, or you work your way around it somehow. Even when we were in Australia, we did the exact same thing.
Oh,
yeah, and it was outside.
It was so hot. Like, I mean, you think here in winter and minus 40, you think, oh my gosh, I could never live there. Well, I am telling you, folks. Townsville, Australia.
Living on the face of the sun.
The face of the sun. We cannot live there. And we were bad Canadians because we complained from the moment we woke up to the moment we went to sleep, because we didn't understand how do humans live in heat like this, right?
I didn't understand. Like, I didn't know my kneecaps could sweat. Like the outside of them, just by themselves, just from standing and existing as a human. We digress, though. We have New Zealand on here. Heidi is on. We got Stephanie on from Louisiana. Sarah from, it was Sarah, because now I remember we're like, where are you? But we figured it all out last time. Benson, Alberta. And then even on the Tiki-Taki, somebody asked us to speak French a little bit. So bonjour, comment ça va? That's as far as it goes.
No, oui. I
That's
got
true.
that one down pat. That's about it. Anywho, so take that big chunk out because you don't need that to begin with. Like in all reality, a piece of land maybe you have your own few acres, you can do it on the driveway. Like, it's an amazing piece when you understand if you already have your horses. It's so great to know that you can actually work on your own piece of land, because when you work on your own piece of land, see, now you can start incorporating that into a business. So that means people come to you, you start getting paid, but now you have the expense of upkeep, the lawn tractor, the utilities, the Wi-Fi, the mortgage interest. Like, see, all of these things now that you're already naturally paying come into play because you've created a business on your own piece of land. So it's kind of exciting. I love that, you know, you live on your land and you can work from your land, and you can go inside the house and get the crock pot ready full of a good hearty meal for the fam jam, and then you get to go back to work with the horses again. It's kind of cool because you don't have to drive anywhere.
And like the program supplies themselves, they aren't crazy, right? So the certification piece is, you know, you're getting certified, right? So you're getting a certification, so that's going to cost you a little bit, but it's what allows you to do everything else with a lot more ease, I have to say as well. But then you've got like your actual program supplies that you need to set up. You can be super creative. We've had some people who use logs from their land. We have other people who use PVC pipe or something like that. You can be very creative, and the dollar store is your bestest friend in the whole wide world for all that stuff. So those aren't going to be the crazy expensive piece.
You know what else is super cool?
No.
Is asking on your social media platforms, your community.
Totally.
Your community wants you to bring this to their place. They need it. We know globally around the world, every human on earth needs equine assisted learning now. Why? No matter what happened, there is a shift, there's a change, and there's so many people who need to find themselves again. So we know it's needed. So ask your community, hey, do you have anyone want to donate to this program? Helmets, or a farmer, hey, do you want to donate some logs or some rails? Yeah, cones, like everything that you need. It's actually pretty, that's the cheapest part to me of the business, is the supplies that it takes.
Rebecca says, I'm 700 kilometers south of Townsville, and the heat and humidity is just as bad here in the summer. I believe you.
Nope.
I would like to say that I would visit you, but maybe in your winter.
Yeah.
Is when I would come there.
Yeah.
We weren't pretty people. You should know, when we were there as well. So we also complained about that. We would take pictures of ourselves in the morning, and then in the evening, we looked like we got hit by a truck. Like our hair is everywhere, plastered to our face. Everything's stuck to us. We're filthy. Horrible.
Yeah.
Continuing on, the horse side of things is a big question. How many horses do you need? What kinds of horses do I need? These are big questions as well. And if you already have horses, depending on what you're working with them for, or if they're just hobby horses, or maybe you have a discipline within that as well. There are lots of options into the horses that can work in these programs, from being rescues to being, you know, a dressage horse. It's just a matter of how are you going to want them in there, and what are the retraining pieces that you're wanting to do as well. How many horses is how many people you're planning on running through as well. You don't want to like stack 8 people with one horse.
No, that'd be a little too much stimulus for your horse to take. I mean, it's hard enough with 2 humans and 1 horse. We as humans bring a lot of complications into our lives, right? So we're always throwing those stimulus pieces out at our horses. So it's kind of nice to understand. And how many times a day or a week would you run it? We personally only run 3 programs at the most. Max during the week. Why? We want our horses, the welfare, so that they've got time off as well. And our programs, I love our programs because they're designed so that your clients come for an hour and let's say a half once a week. So it's a curriculum. So they just come once a week. Like today we have the Calgary Dream Center coming. They come every week. Every Wednesday they come here and they learn skills, because this is a center who helps men to actually move forward in their recovery. So we get new clients continuously because the Dream Center continually gets new clients.
They rotate them through.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a really great question, Stephanie. What certification are you referring to? Ours. And how many certifications do you need? Cost of them. So you don't need to be certified, or you don't need to be a therapist, or you don't need to have 42 different acronyms after your name to be able to run these programs by any means. I can send you a little bit of information about our certification as well, but it's being a certified equine assisted learning facilitator. So you can learn and understand how to run these specific programs that we're talking about and ensure that you are empowering individuals to take the steps that they need to make behavioral change or move forward with their lives in a different way, maybe.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
And I mean, for those who do have your degree and you have the therapy component, it's so cool because you can add to it that beautiful toolbox. However, we're not degreed. So it's so nice to know that we don't have to cross the line of going to that piece. And, thank you very much for saying that, Stephanie. It's funny how we forget to say
you haven't
things.
all watched us from the beginning.
Yeah, and
what are you talking about?
What is this certification they speak about?
I guess I say the name, but we don't really tell you much else.
We really don't. So that's a good
perfect.
awakening.
I will send that off to you for sure, Stephanie, so you have a little bit more information on that too. Or if anybody else wants it and you're like, who are these people? Happy to send it off
because
to you.
they didn't tell us.
Yep.
And the other beauty with that piece, we always say it's always therapeutic. Anytime we all know that when you're in the presence of a horse, there is a healing component that just naturally exists.
Yes.
But there's actually research that backs why that is. But we always say those therapeutic benefits are always there, but it's the clients, the actual humans who come take the programs. It's like they're doing their own therapy with their horses as they go, but you don't need to hear the stuff that they go through because, of course, working with organizations like we do, they have the counselors and the therapists there. So we do our component of building those strong life skills. Well, they do it. And of course, they take it back and then they can do more in-depth therapy pieces.
Oh, that's cool. So you're pursuing your psych. So you can definitely marry the two together as well. So that's awesome. And an RN. We got lots of nurses.
Right? And I mean, the bonus with getting your degree, well, you can ask those psyche questions. We can't ask those.
Yeah.
No,
we don't. So we know electrician, we don't wire a house. We know psychologist, we don't know wire a brain.
That's right.
Very clear on it.
That's right.
We have someone from Nunavik on as well at TikTok.
Hey, that's
so
super
hello
cool.
There, Rita.
Super cool.
Oh,
okay, so we have more because these are all things you want to think of. And remember, everything that you spend, save the receipt because it's so powerful in understanding the business that you have and the write-offs that you are going to be able to use to make that business move forward. And just so you know, FYI, for most of us now, this is North America, this is also Australia, New Zealand, with our governments, the beauty is us being self-employed, we really get a solid 2 years of, kind of going in the hole, if you will. All those expenses do add up. But again, we're doing those expenses all the time because we live there, or we're using our phone all the time, but now we get to use it as phone. So they allow us to actually have that 2 years of, getting our business to move forward, but they know it costs lots of money to start businesses.
Absolutely. So even the how do I market piece is a big one too. Maybe we'll go to that next. And knowing who your target market is and who it is that you want to market to is huge. And this is such a cool personification of what's happening right now because we've got TikTok going and then we've got Facebook going. And on Facebook, we have very different comments than we have going on TikTok. And so why? Because there's two different target markets here that we are working with, right? So if you know who your target market is, you will find out where they are and how you're going to reach them that way. What is the messaging? And how do you create yourself in a way that appeals and hits the feels for the market that you want to get into as well, right? So we do have both markets on our account, but we have on this side, people asking about the course. And then we also have on TikTok, somebody told us that they can smell cottage cheese. So it could be different things for different people. You never do know, but you want to know where your targets are to be able to market it properly and get the proper messaging.
Now, here is one, I don't know how you say it. Is it failure?
First attempt in learning.
First attempt in learning.
Yes.
But, I mean, it is positive, but it's not positive because when you market incorrectly, it costs you a lot of money. So you see, this is why I don't know what the right word is that we use, but we mistakenly sometimes go the wrong way. So here's the wrong way, the expensive learning experience. Yes. So if we come into, let's say, our horse business in equine assisted learning, and we say, we want to help everybody. Like, you can't. No. So here's the thing. It's like saving all of the horses in the world. Love to do that. but you can't. It's just not possible or feasible. It's just not. Maybe some billionaires could do that, but
Even
I don't
still,
think they're
you
looking
can't-
at that.
If you try
It's
to
just
help
not
everybody, you help
possible.
nobody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when you're marketing, you have to be very specific, because when you can understand who the one person is, that one client that you're wanting to help, that you know you can help for them to move forward in their lives through the power of the horse, that's the person that you speak to. But you have to understand who that person is so that you can market to them. The bonus when we understand our one client, our one target, let's say, is other things start to appear, because you're out there, you did it properly, you're spending your money on the one target market versus everybody, because you can't speak to everybody. Not everybody has lost a child. Not everybody has a grieving process. Not everybody has been through breast cancer. Not everybody's, so you can't say everybody, because if you go generic, you're going to waste your money, because people aren't going to understand, how is this horse going to help me to get out of depression? And not that you can get out of depression, but understand the tools that it takes
to work with depression.
To work with depression. So yeah.
Sorry,
Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
reading at the
I
same
see
time.
that.
Yeah, I just zoned right in.
Yeah.
Gaining certification and running these programs is not only incredible for our clients, but also to ourselves. And there's so much self-journey. True. So much self-discovery when you're on the journey of becoming a facilitator. It's just so amazing and rewarding. I get blown away every time. So 15 years later,
Right?
we still will run a program and after be like, whoa. Like,
Whoa. How did that happen?
Whoa. Like,
And we know they're predictable outcomes, and we know that there's a result. We understand how to use that form of delivery and appropriate application, but it still blows our brain, because we're like, how did that one human get that from that horse who is what? Maybe even trying to come in and nip at him. You know what I mean? Like you would get it with the horses all mushing into you. You're like, okay, you can see how people have these aha huge moments, but sometimes it's when they're teaching strong and hard, because we know horses, that's how they teach. It's swift. It's not, let me think about, should I let this person know?
Yeah.
Right? It's now. Okay, I digressed.
This is a really great question off of TikTok too. See, TikTok's proving me wrong now. So how do you decide which direction to go with your target market? So that is such a great question, because it really, I was talking to a lady this morning who had many people in her life who had addictions. Well, she's drawn to working with people with addictions, or helping in the preemptive side of things, or helping in the recovery and reintegration side of things, because that's been her life, right? You bring a lot of you into your programs. So even for ourselves, when we first started, we thought we wanted to have the youth grow into people, because my
heart is the youth.
We love them, right?
Yeah.
And then as we've moved forward in our careers and in this business, we've kind of adjusted who we help in different things. But your target is going to be a passion purpose piece for you. And you may not know what it is right off the top of your head, but generally we can relate somehow to something that's going on with our target market. I think that's the first one that comes out, is the heart.
I was just going to say, it's the heart. So don't let your heart go to your brain, if you understand what I'm saying. If you feel here, I want to help a man because of this situation. I want to help a woman who has been beaten and abused. Like, listen here and don't say, oh, but is there enough people? Would that even be a possibility? Like, don't let this kind of come into play when you're really focusing on who is that target. Is it families? I mean, it can be families too. We have family counseling, not us, but I mean, we have facilitators who bring in that family component as well, because it's a great way to do a group. And again, Calgary Dream Center, we do a group of the guys. Like we don't do one-on-ones. You can do one-on-ones.
Huge point in that too.
Yeah.
And actually that goes with Stephanie's question. Who are your largest targets that we work with? For us, the big one is the reintegration for addictions. Yeah. So that's a big target market for us. And 2 of the programs that we weekly run have to do with that piece in the reintegration of building essential life skills to be able to get back out into the world and to be able to function in the world as a new person, almost, really, because it is reprogramming your entire life essentially. So those are one of our markets. But we don't just go and try to approach every single addict that's out there or somebody who's in those programs. What we do is we approach an organization. So working with the Dream Center, Next Step Ministries is beautiful because it's super smart. we only have to find the organization once.
Yes.
They keep refilling the people
That's
time and
right.
time and time again. Whereas if you go for some of the individual pieces, you absolutely can. You can do workshops or all sorts of different things with that too. But then you have to keep refilling them and finding new people all the time. So we love working with organizations like that because it allows us to just, like we've been with them
Well,
for
you're
a
set
long
for
time.
life.
Yeah.
Like, you're set in business because you have a monthly paycheck coming in from the organization. And going back, I really love that question too. So just so you know why the recovery piece, the addictions piece, my stepson is an addict.
Mhm.
And he is on his recovery journey as well, but it took beyond years and years he's been an addict. So we have lived it. So it's been something when Mark was going through it that it actually hurt my heart, like the homeless people and the addictions and Mark telling us all the stories. So that was a huge piece. Depression piece for us has been huge because Carolyn has a passion with that piece as well. I don't know, do you call it a passion? But it's a passion to have tools, right?
I think so, in a relation to it, right? Like I know how much it's helped me. So when you know that you, like, why would you keep that a secret? I guess,
Right.
is kind of what it comes down to. Like, I want women who have had those same feelings as me to feel what I get to feel by working with horses. So that to me, I think it's sharing a passion. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So see, it really does come from your heart though, where you want to target. And then of course we have women's workshops as well. Why we absolutely love women, because I think we're actually just, I'm sorry, any of you guys out there, we love you too, but just hear this for a moment. A horse is the most incredible, majestic, beautiful being when we're in the presence of them. I think as women, we're the same way. Why? Because no matter what happens to us, we get up again and we move forward and we keep trying to build and make something of what it is we need for ourselves, for our family, who it is that we are. Like, we're pretty cool creatures too. And of course, you men, I do have to say, men who are listening, Calgary Dream Center has changed our world. We're in love with working with men, and we did not even know. See, it was just because of what happened with Mark, but we didn't know that we were going to love working with men. We thought,
we did. How are we going to relate? Like,
yeah,
no,
but they're amazing
no
to work with.
problemo on that side of things.
And they're mushy.
Just before we continue on, because this could be a whole nother live,
Right?
Can you incorporate other animals?
Not in equine assisted
We're both
learning. Yeah, not in this specific one, but again, knowing it's animal assisted, we have all the research and the pieces that back how the horse is literally the teacher. So that's why, I mean, I know people have worked with goats and chickens and all those wonderful pieces because it's still an animal assisted. But I would personally, if you're going to incorporate other animals into another program you're running, is to do that research piece on why does the goat react like this? Like, why does the goat faint? Like the fainting goats, right? Like, those are specific things that I know they are used in therapy for that reason, not used, hopefully worked with. But you can definitely add components, but I would just make sure that you know the research that goes behind that animal that you're wanting to work with. We have 4 dogs and 4 cats here now. That's therapy alone for the clients who come here. Like, it really is, but it's prey versus predator. So it would never be that same way that the programs would run.
We've had facilitators who have run wellness farms, however, with chickens and the whole bit, and they run just different aspects of different programming with different animals. So they can all still, there's so many options for how all these things can work together, for sure.
Yeah.
But these specific programs, you need that equine piece for it. If you want more information on why that is, I can definitely send you some information as well. Stephanie, I love it.
You got some great questions there, girl.
Do the organizations bill the parents or insurance for payments? They all kind of do it different ways. 2 of the ones that we work for are partially government funded and partially fundraised funded. So they throw us in the budget and we work with them to move forward to what that budget looks like as well.
Yeah,
so
so we like that.
Nutshell answer. But
in Texas, though, with Angela, she's part of a system where that health system, and it's obviously not the same in the States, but it's a system that actually pays Angela individually for the patients that come in,
like
a client.
I think it's like a group insurance deal.
Yeah, it's something like that. I forget exactly.
Might be wrong words, but
yeah,
you can always, and we're happy to chat to you anytime. We can set up a time to do that as well. How is this program different from, oh my gosh, this could be a whole nother live too. For all of the differences in programs, one of the biggest differences is the objectively driven programs. So there is always an outcome. There is every single program that we are doing, it is to get to a specific objective for that day, a specific skill. So a lot of other programs, and again, we haven't taken them all, so we can't comment on everything with it.
We really can't.
But what we can comment on are the things that work for our business. And that objectively driven piece for sales and marketing, as well as for our clients, it gives us the achievable and tangible outcome for every single time that they're working with the horses. And for me, that's a huge piece.
And to me, the number one thing is the welfare of the horse.
Absolutely.
To me, it's the biggest piece that sets us apart from all other certifications, because the welfare piece is brought in first.
Yeah.
Because if we actually don't understand the horse's culture and their language, it's like how dare we come in and make them do things that it's false. It's wrong. If we understand their culture and their language, and we're literally allowing them to speak to us so we know what it is that they're saying, but then we step in to actually ask the client, because the number one thing, welfare and all, number one thing a horse needs to feel is safe. That is the number one thing. So if we're always consistently aware that that's the number one thing, when our horses are speaking, it helps us to be able to step in and even ask the clients, why is our horse's head going so high or the tail swishing? And they might tell us something. And then we've got that ability to say, so what's the number one thing a horse needs to feel? They're going to tell us safe. So what can we change? And I always say we. I don't like saying what can you change, because I don't know, it's pinpointing. I don't like pinpointing. Yeah. What can we change to help our horse feel safe again? And see, then that's when the client gives the info. See, that's the change in the human, because they did the change. I didn't. They just came up with it because we came up with those beautiful ways to ask the clients what it is that's required right now. So yeah.
Another good question up on TikTok. What can this be billed through insurance if it's not with a licensed therapist? That's super dependent on where you are and what state you're in, or what province you're in as well. So you kind of have to check in on each one. Sometimes if you book through an organization, they can bill through it separately because it's tagged into some of the therapy that they're already doing. Other times it can fall under a wellness side of things, more so than a psychologist side of things. There are lots of options with it, but it's incredibly different depending on state and province.
It really is. And that's just like Angela from Texas. How she's done it is very different compared to how Canada could ever work.
Yeah, because Halifax has something like that too, but there's still a way different aspect as to how
exactly.
It's set up. Yeah.
What else did we have down for today? We've given a lot, but we're still going to give you a video after we're done. It's not a long one, but for those things that we haven't covered, this little video kind of pinpoints home, it nails it. It nails all the stuff that are pieces of a business write-off, so that you're understanding the beauty and how being self-employed, even if you work full-time, you can still be self-employed in a business. That's the beauty. Work for a few years, get all of that money coming in, but prepare your self-employed business with the horses, because the write-off idea and the concept of how it all works, it's just brilliant. Like, I love spending money because it's business. I do. She's the frugal piece of the business because she's like, whoa, that's expensive. I said, you live once. It's a write-off, right?
We're getting better though. We're starting to
go on more even keel, right? Yeah, I think I said that.
We did.
So we will. I'm not sure, how do they get the video?
I think what we're going to have to have you guys do this time is send us a private message.
Oh,
yeah. So if you want to just message the Equine Connection Facebook page, then we are happy to send that video off to you. Stephanie, we think you're awesome as well.
Oh, thanks.
Barb, thanks for all the info. This is terrific. Oh, perfect. I love this. I'm going to throw our website, our brand spanking new website.
Brand spanking new, because every few years you got to change things up, right?
Right.
So we did a whole redone. It's beautiful. You're going to love the website. It's fun. Just to be a part of. I was wondering when she was going to get up and do that.
When she put it all together, that couldn't happen.
But it's just fun to go through and even seeing the pictures, here's the key component. So for all of you who are looking into a certification and one that fits for you, because you always want to make sure the organization that you're getting certified with really rolls with who you are and how that rolls into your own life. Like, it's got to feel right when you're getting a certification, because it's a huge expense that you're putting in, right? One thing to look at. And Chris Irwin, he was the one who taught us this. Even though we had seen things subconsciously, we had already known, but he brought it to fruition by saying the actual words. He said, look at the pictures. Look at pictures of who? Not the humans. Never look at the pictures of the humans in a certification. Look at the pictures of the horses, because your horses are telling you a lot of stuff in their world. And here's the thing, going back to the welfare of the horse, you know, we took the horses out of their world and we put them in our human world. So how unfair is that for us to say you have to learn our way? Because they're not going to ever learn our way, because they're a prey animal. Yeah. They're never going to learn our human way. It's just not possible. But when we can understand their culture and their language, think, act, and respond like a horse, this is where the beauty of facilitating and helping humans to move forward is brilliant, because the welfare is always there, because that's the key component to a human making a lifetime change. And it is. And it is authentic.
Yeah, it's what people are coming up with the changes through their own lives. It's not us, like you'd said before too, telling them what they need to change, because we don't know.
No, we don't know.
we can't know to somebody, have an hour and 15-minute program and be like, I got this. Here's how we are going to change your whole life, and give them a bullet point list. It's not possible. They know within themselves, and it's the horse that can bring those pieces out to come to that realization more so than it is anything else. But if we add humanisms, if we put our own personal stuff on what the horse is saying, we are not being authentic with it. So we have to let them genuinely speak with through their body language or how they're reacting with people, to allow people to come to their own pieces, to be empowered with that as well.
Absolutely.
Barb had a great question. Is there government assistance? Again, I wish I could be more specific, but it's different everywhere. So in Alberta, I definitely know of a few. So if you're in Alberta, let me know. It's different everywhere as to who can apply and what kind of funding is available. Sometimes there's private funders. Sometimes if you're working with an organization, they can figure out different ways of doing it as well to help to sponsor those pieces. Other times there's grants available. There's private grants, government grants, lots of different ways. But I gotta tell you, it's a lot. You gotta search. You gotta really get on that Google machine.
Yeah, and I really think I know we have a few facilitators as well, is the organization actually wanted them to get certified.
Yeah.
So they could bring it in. So you see, then the organization ended up paying for the certifications so that they could help their own clients. So there's so many different ways that it can be done with it. It's like just fabulous.
Oh, you're Alberta. Yeah, shoot me a private message there, Barb. I'll send you the link on some that I know of.
Okay, so private message us for the video. It's a fun little video. It's like even done in a cartoonish way. Is that how you say it?
Video in a fun little way.
It really is. Yeah. But why not? You'll say, hey, there's my house. There's my car tires on there. What the heck? A coffee from Starbucks? I can write that off. Yeah, like seriously. It's just good to know. Fabulous being in business for yourself.
Absolutely. So we're going to go work with some horses.
Yeah, we are.
And so send it all through. We will check. So don't expect it back like the second you send it. So give me, because we're going to go work with the horses.
And we got Calgary Dream Center.
And we've got the Dream Center today as well. But definitely send us through that private message. Check out our new website as well, because it's new and that's exciting. And if you do have any questions, of course, that is probably going to be your best bet information, because there is a plethora of it on there. Or contact us at any time as well. We always like to be able to chat with people, give you more info, and connect in a different way with like-minded folk.
Have an amazing day, everyone. Remember, why not you? Why not you? You don't have to be what you think you're supposed to be or need to be. It's just beautiful, unique, gifted you, a horse, a program, and really you can change the world one step, one horse at a time.
Absolutely. Have a great week, everyone.